I traveled all the way to China to go see some of the world's last remaining fossils. And in that, I found them, which you see here, but I also found out the secret social life of trees. I traveled to Matcha Lake water forest in Hangzhou, and I found that this location perfectly exemplifies the profound botanical and social realities that researcher Peter Wolben uncovered in his book, The Hidden Life of Trees. So in The Hidden Life of Trees, basically the core premise is that a forest is not just a collection of isolated plants competing against one another, but it's a deeply interconnected, supportive community that operates much like a human society. And Wolben basically breaks down that trees form intense social bonds. So they can care for the sick, they can communicate in ways that are completely hidden to the human eye. And this is exactly what's happening at Matcha Lake, where social engineering is happening right beneath the water. So to understand the science of this lake through a sociological lens, you have to look at the incredible history of these specific trees. So this forest is primarily composed of dawn cypresses and pond cypresses. And the scientific phenomenon here is a monumental. So the dawn cypress is literally a living fossil. It dates all the way back to the Mesozoic era, the age of the dinosaurs. For centuries, modern scientists believed it had gone completely extinct millions of years ago. Then in the 1940s, a small surviving pocket of these ancient trees were discovered growing in rural China. So when these rare cypresses were introduced to this flooded lakeside environment, they were actually introduced. It's a man-made lake, but a unique scientific phenomenon occurred. So because their roots are permanently submerged in water, they exist in a state of chronic hypoxia, or essentially what's known as severe oxygen deprivation. And to survive, the cypresses underwent a radical biological transformation, growing, and they essentially grew what's known as nematophores. And those really unique, woody, almost knee-like root structures that erupt vertically through the waterline just to breathe oxygen are what is known as nematophores. Now, simultaneously, the neon green lake that you're seeing, and I say quote-unquote lake, or what people are calling the matcha carpet or matcha lake, covering the lake surface is basically just a massive bloom of lemnon minor or duckweed. Scientifically speaking, duckweed is a hyperaccumulator, so that just means that it thrives on nutrient-rich nitrogen and phosphorus naturally circulating in the water ecosystem. So the duckweed performs an intensive ecological service, and it filters out the water and blocks sunlight, kind of suppresses toxic cyanobacteria that blooms to keep the aquatic environment beautifully balanced and clear. I was really interested in exploring this from a sociological perspective. And for me, that means exploring the sociological more than human standpoint. And this scientific phenomenon changes everything about how we should be understanding society. So more than human sociology is an academic movement that arose precisely because traditional sociology had a massive blind spot. And that blind spot was anthropocentric bias. So for over a century, sociology, a lot of sociology courses or actors and philosophers, thinkers, and theorists basically acted as if society was a closed club exclusively for human beings. And they were treating the environment as a dead, passive backdrop. But more than human sociology emerged to shatter that and argue that plants, animals, microbes, and ecosystems possess their own distinct form of agency networks and sociology. They're what theorists call non-human actants, so forces that actively shape, limit, and dictate human behavioral structures. When I went to Matcha Lake, I quickly realized that the trees and the duckweed are not passive props for the tourist in kayaks. And, it's not just something that's meant to be posted on Instagram as a cool matcha lake, but beneath the surface, these cypresses are interconnected by mycorrhizal networks. So that's intricate underground fungal webs. And science shows us that through these webs, the trees engage in kin recognition. So they pass biochemical warnings about pests and pump sugars and carbon to distressed or weaker trees. It's a highly organized, cooperative collective operating on what, again, The Secret Life of Trees explicitly describes using sociological language. It's a botanical welfare system based on mutual aid to ensure the survival of the forest canopy. So this brings us back to the secret life of the forest that I stumbled upon. And there was just so much that I encountered, whether it be the deers, the black swans, the geese, but mostly the presence of the unique ecosystem isn't about human dominance over nature, of nature's sovereignty and non-human community. I think by plants adapting their biology via phenomatophores, these ancient living fossils are actively managing the lake and stabilizing the soil and creating the physical winding corridors that pretty much dictate exactly where humans can paddle in this lake and, where we can travel. So the tree's secret social network allowed them to survive a changing environment, and in doing so, they co-created the very landscape that we enjoy and we see today. So I hope if you get a chance to visit Qingshan Lake, you don't take it for granted or just see a Matcha Lake, but you see what lies beneath and the society, the neighborhood, the kinship, and the belonging of the ecosystem that allows all of this to come to life.